having the discussions, when we were having the, no, it's okay. When we were having the discussions, like I said some ideas, and then Jen said like, no, but back at my home, we already do this. So like, we have to do more research in order for us not to fall into these things that are already been done somewhere else. Like I didn't know. So when she said it's already been done, it's like, okay, so then it's not like a new idea, you know? So so I think we have to focus on that.
Yeah, I think what would be the outcome in the end? Maybe it will still be something similar where we create something that is measuring the water. But I guess, yeah, like they say, I agree that we might have to go back and look further into Laura said about the relationship of water. And I think Myra also helped us to put it down quite nicely, the comments. So yeah, I think what we have to do is more research and also thinking on how we use it and how we use water and our relationship to it. And shall we be focusing on whether this is going to be like the national kind of like solutions that we were talking about, or is it more because I remember she mentioned about the different places too, right? Like India is obviously different situation with like here, maybe perhaps in Berlin. Then how do we address it? I think it's more of she mentioned about the challenging the system, which is also the authority, the government, how we are connected to that part as well, because the water source is where we want to also think about, like, how do we get this water? It's also different in every country.
Yes,
yeah, definitely.
And even we should research about the effects of climate change and human activities about the future of water, what the effect of these factors for the future of water too, I think. And the professor said something about these factors, as I remember.
Okay, what I also understood was similar to what you guys said. One is that we are thinking of this to be only a human-based system, and we are just tackling water, how it's been done for so many generations. And we are trying to optimize that. She is asking us to challenge that whole notion of water being just a resource we're using to as a resource, and think of it to be a part of the natural system. And if we can, using AI, incorporate how we use water and how water is a part of the water cycle or a part of the entire chain of and also I also agree with the fact that the scale of the solution that we're thinking of in terms of national is something that we should reconsider, and we should go for something like a micro solution which we can possibly go deeper into than something macro.
I think that's something that maybe would be interesting, and I don't know if you would like to do something like that, is that we could divide like themes around water. Like maybe one of us does mythological research, like how people thought about these myths and about what water did in a community, and in a very in a more anthropological way. Somebody else might go to the more hardcore sciences, like the water cycle, the way, for example, plants absorb and photosynthesis, and like maybe analyze how the fish gets oxygen through water. I don't know, like just to
Mhm.
have information about what is being what happens to water without the human touch. And somebody else maybe can do a research on what like the most advanced countries, like maybe Singapore, or I'm thinking of Norwegian, or this kind of places that there. I have the feeling that they are very synced with nature, you know, and they have like created a way of social being that goes aligned with preserving nature. So somebody else could analyze what they're already doing so that we don't fall into
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, and then put everything together. Like, I don't know what you think, and maybe somebody else could do the part of technology.
Okay,
Yes.
I absolutely love that idea to start with.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I think this is
Sounds
great.
interesting.
Yeah. Can you tell me one doubt I have? When you said technologies of water, could you explain the second last and the last point once more, please? When you said new technologies of water in Singapore, and now Singapore is connected.
Yeah, like for example, what Jen told us about what they were doing with the AC, you know, like maybe it's not related to water, but like maybe there's something that is, I don't know. So like ways other countries already have to regulate the use of water. Because I'm pretty sure there's somewhere in the world where they are already doing something about it, and maybe it doesn't work 100%, but it can like give us an idea of where we are at. That was like what I was referring to.
Yes.
And when
And
I'm talking just about technology, it could be like technology about anything, like in general, what's going on in technology, what's possible doing today,
Okay, so you're saying
not necessarily with
only
water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
do you mean how we can use useless sources that are available in some countries like Canada?
Yeah, for example, Canada might
using
have
technology.
something. Yeah, they might have something like a system or an idea of how to regulate water, and not that we're going to replicate it, but maybe if we understand what they're doing, we don't start from zero, you know.
Yeah.
So like we can move forward.
Guys, you'll have to
Yeah.
give me 1 minute. Sorry. Just give me a minute, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And maybe we could have this ready in a couple of days,
Yeah,
so that
I
we
like
can get together for the assignment for unit 2, because I haven't read it, to be sincere with
I
you.
don't think we need to, but it's
Yeah.
just good to do to
Yeah.
have an idea what's coming next and what we have to address to.
Yeah.
So basically, I didn't read all of it, but basically it's explaining also the methodology, what kind of methodology we can go into with our idea. Yeah, so I think the first step now we think of what is our idea and then how we developed it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So then I think we're on the right track now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one little research I did on how to connect the current processes. Sorry, one thing also wanted to add to the earlier conversation was that, like Masa mentioned as well, that we need to take an account of how climate change is going to affect. So there's an IPCC report which mentions how climate change is going to affect water in the future. So
Yeah.
out of all the factors that you mentioned, we should add that as well, so that
Sure.
we can.
With that one, we would have 5. So each
Yeah.
one of us could have a theme. So I
Yeah.
think it's amazing. Yeah.
Can we just like sort of decide who is gonna do which?
Yeah. Yeah, does anybody have like a predilection over a certain topic?
Okay, one more thing I want to discuss as well.
Okay.
So I was just researching as to, like when you said water cycle, so I'm actually quite fascinated with water cycle. I've been doing a little research on that for a long time, and I just had something that I wanted to put out that so primarily why the human race is having problems dealing with excessive water is because of the amount of water that percolates into the soil, right? So what's happening is that the amount of built meaning concrete land and land that allows water to seep into the ground, right? So what's happening is that earlier throughout these generations, we have um, focused a lot on groundwater, and that is how certain lot of civilizations have survived. But the current state of groundwater has suddenly had drastic reduce because of the fact that water is not able to percolate into the ground, right? So because of this factor, the groundwater has been receding for a long time. So what this does is two things. One, the groundwater reduces, and second, when why are these floods being caused due to climate change? Is also goes to the fact that when it's raining a lot, it's getting accumulated in these concrete boxes, so as to say, because the whole ground is concrete, none of it's seeping through. If water could seep through into the ground, it would reduce the flash floods and the constant floods that we are receiving and are supposed to receive according to the IPCC. So, keeping both of these things in mind, I was thinking of uh, so like the issue being that groundwater is not being able to replenish because everything is built, right? So if an AI could predict the amount of precipitation that okay, this is the amount of rain that's happening over a year, and this is the required limit of groundwater that we need to survive or something of that sort.
Yeah,
And
like I'm gonna stop you for a sec. Like you're already jumping into the final solution. So we're gonna stop at the fact that there's a water cycle, and like without humans, this water would go into the ground, you know, and today that's not happening. So like that's where at this moment you're gonna stop, you know, like and see, for example, because you have a lot of examples of this, and I can tell that you're very well informed. Like you can add other kind of odd things that you know are happening. So because eventually we'll get to the AI eventually. But right now, like let's just stop at the fact of what it's happening. And I'm sure you have plenty of more data on that. So maybe you could work on the natural cycle of water.
Yeah. And I think it can be helpful if I research about the effects of the people and their activities and climate change on water resources.
Great.
If okay, I can start things today.
Okay, Masa, there are two different ones. One is the mythological research that Bia mentioned, which is the historical use of water, and the other is climate change. So, which one of the two would you?
No matter about climate change, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
So
I
then
research about climate change and the effects of climate change on water resources around the world.
yeah. So we have the mythological part and the what's already being done in advanced countries, right? That's what we have left. And we must have another one for Mayra.
So, according to what I wrote also before, what you said five, I thought I missed the point. Okay, but we can divide
Okay.
actually, like technologies. See, mythological.
Oh yeah, technology. That's the one we are missing. The one of just researching the technology.
Okay.
That doesn't have to do with water.
Okay, so oh, doesn't have to do with water. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So for example, the Singapore air condition is one example of the technology is already existing, right?
exactly.
Something
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I think I'm more interested or inclined to research on the methodology part.
Mythology. Yeah, okay. Like the social way of perceiving water.
Yeah, more
Okay.
on relationship and maybe a little bit of historical aspects, I think would be.
Great. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So then you do that part. So then we have technology in general, and we have what's been done in other countries, right?
Yeah.
So I can do the countries, and maybe Maida could do the technologies.
Okay. There are two. If you guys just want to have some time, you can read this technology called Warka Water. WARKA.
Sorry.
There's this guy who's developed this technology called Warka Water. WARK Water, which is basically he's developed it in the I think Egyptian deserts. It basically captures all the water from the air and converts it into drinking water. That is one
Amazing.
that's doing very well. And the other is an Indian guy who's made these ice stupas, which are these ice mountains, which are about 100 feet tall, and they hold the water during the winters and during the summers. And when it's required in the summers, it pushes out, and it's in both the natural processes. Do not have any artificial, no construction, no nothing. So they're both natural processes. These are also some things we can, yeah. But I think that's Myra's. So I'll message her.
Maybe we can list out all of these
Yeah, sure.
on Miro.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that now.
And also the examples that Arnav just mentioned, maybe we can just put down so Myra will know what sort of things we're looking for.
Yes.
In terms of history of water also, you should also see the hydroponics that hydroponics is growing of food with water, right? So
Yeah.
what are they called? I'm forgetting. The first civilization.
I think that would be kind of my area. So
Okay.
like what is the relationship of human with water? So food is one area, right? It's like how we use water to grow food using hydroponic or whatever. Now like it's also been developed. I think, yeah, I think this.
You should check. I'm forgetting the civilization's name. It's a very. I haven't read it, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. The first civilization that did hydroponics was Mayans. No, not Mayans. Before them. Okay, if I remember, I'll message in the group or I'll write it on the Miro. But it's. I mean, the hydroponics we're doing now is based on what we learned
Yeah.
from that. So it's. You should check that out as well. Okay. What else? Okay, guys, can you tell me water processes also for me? So, like water cycle comes to mind. What else?
So I'm putting all on Miro because maybe we're getting a little bit everybody like a little bit confused on what is like our special, because maybe if we do climate change, maybe it can relate to water cycle. So I'm gonna put everything that we're just talking, and then we're gonna divide it again. Do you agree? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm with that.
technology applied to water. We said also myths and culture around water.
And other technology.
I don't know how to make this a little bit bigger.
People activities.
People activity.
Yeah.
What else? Technology applied to water. What countries are doing about water? Okay. Maybe my type is too big.
Countries are should micro technologies. Okay.
Okay, so what countries are doing about water? What else am I missing? The water cycle, climate change, technology applied to water, myths and culture around water, people
When you see
activity.
water cycle, there are more of them as well. Water cycle is the main one, but apart from that, there are other scientific processes also. Yeah, that is. I think everything.
Would you agree that would be it? Or would you like to add something else?
I'd like to understand what people activity means.
Yeah, I think the people activity part could also be every single one of it.
Yes.
Or maybe we just go through one by one. So
Yeah.
like to give some examples of each category.
Mhm.
So the water cycle, what would that be?
In terms of the water cycle, primarily the 5-6 processes are there, from condensation to precipitation, condensation, uh, even like going inside water, and that's percolation, precipitation, evaporation, condensation. I think these are the 5 processes that are there. So just a understanding of these 5 and how they are connected to each other would be, and I think the science behind it a little bit, so that we can understand if those processes can be replicated in our own systems. But would this also encompass things like
Yeah, I think there are some overlaps, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we have to think, because I think it will all overlap, but in terms of our research, I think we can focus on certain areas so that we don't have too much of overlapping going on.
Mhm.
For example, I think the technology and what countries are doing about water can be like,
Together.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, this one is duplicated. So, okay, so climate change would be something else.
Yeah.
Like we could put it over here. Myths and culture, definitely something else. I
Yeah.
don't know if this would relate with people activity.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
we can remove it.
yeah.
We are missing technologies not related to water.
Sorry?
We're missing technologies not related to water.
Okay. Tech.
Sorry?
Like
General.
optimizing technologies like the one that Jen was mentioning last time about air and yeah, I mean the even the air filter that
Yeah, like for example, the that I think it has for what I overread a couple of minutes ago on Unit 2, it's about what algorithms are able to do today. Like for example, being able to recognize your face, you know, by just looking at your phone camera or at your laptop camera, like that kind of things that maybe don't have to do anything with technology, like what with water, but has to do with what we are able to recognize and to do with the existing technology.
okay, so why don't we do one thing? Why don't we just specialize that into what AI can do, so that we can understand the different uses of the AI, like uh, directions that the AI has done, already existing technologies that AI has achieved. Like one of the examples was last time the air conditioner. Similarly, if we can
Yeah.
understand where all it has been employed.
So here in the water cycle, we could put as an example what you said about concrete, like the natural way of water moving into the ground.
With food, sanitation, even technologies in when you talk about human relationship with water, it should also have what do you call? How do you clean water? What is that called? Yeah, like reusing of water. Right now, we are suppose it gets dirty, so we have these called it.
I think when I think for this area, the myths and culture part, I will not focus so much on the technology. Maybe it can be a mentioning of how they did it, but more on really the social aspect of it, like the human
Yes,
aspect of it. I think
yes, yes,
that would make it more interesting.
yes, I agree. Yes, yes, that would be the way I would go too.
Yeah.
In this, yeah, clean and wash. Also reuse. Sorry, this is going in history, not in history. I mean, in when we talk about relationship of water, we should also consider, like right now there are cleaning plants. No, every city after the entire water is used, when the water is being put back into the rivers, like in terms of human waste is being put in the rivers. Before that, it goes to a water treatment plant, right? So that water treatment plant has also changed in so many across so many generations. The earlier water treatment plants were different, and now water treatment plants are different. So in the sense that we are, as a resource, we are spoiling that resource. Can we make sure that that does not happen in a better way? I don't know. I'm just putting it out
I
there.
think that would go under the climate change. Would you agree?
Okay.
I don't see
Yes.
in any particular one. So yeah, I think it can also go in technologies applied to water, because it is a technology that's being, because water, cleaning our
But
water.
when I think of technologies applied to water, I'm thinking it, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it in a positive way.
Mhm.
You know, what it's done right. So what is done wrong, it goes into climate change.
Yeah, but this is also doing well only. If you're cleaning water before discharging it into the rivers, you are not letting the chemicals and other human excreta get into the next person. Because if a country that's above, like, before the release of water into the sea, is discharging all its chemicals, then the country that's
Yes.
using water after you, after that particular country, is actually, it's worse for them. So these technologies are actually in the good light only. The treatment plants are actually in good light, because the factories discharging their waste into the cities is going to create problem for where the river goes next into, whichever city the river goes next into.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that this is exactly what is creating climate change. Like, I don't know if you guys
Global
agree.
warming.
Yeah, global warming as a consequences of CO2 emissions, like it means what we are doing. For me, global climate change is the part where we acknowledge everything we're doing wrong.
Yeah, I do think what you're saying about that example is actually telling us that there is exploitation on this system that was created, even though the system was created in a good intention, but it becomes something that is exploiting the world. So I think that would go into the climate change.
Yeah.
Sorry for the noise.
No, it's okay. I think like don't hold yourself back.
No, I'm talking about the background noise. It's irritating
Ah.
me, so it's reaching you guys as well.
So yeah, I think like that would be something interesting under climate change, like what has
I
been
think
created before. Sorry?
I think garbage are affected too. Yes, for climate change.
See, the IPCC report talks about the number of increase in the number of droughts and flash floods that is going to happen in the next 20, then 20 more, than 20 more years. So it's primarily focusing on these two factors when it comes to water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we water.
Can I just like claim it? So technology applied to water is Anna.
Sorry.
No, that was me, Bea.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
The water cycle was Arnav, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So water sedimentary rate of flow.
Actually, the way that we're going about it, she was talking about having a process of the story to the problem. I think this will get us the background story that she was talking about as well. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Sorry, I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
hear you.
Sorry.
I didn't hear you.
I'm saying that by doing this activity of these 5 aspects, I think we'll be going towards the story that she was talking about as to where we're leading up to. So yeah, so this could be.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, in terms of the assignment that we have to do, should we just discuss Tuesday?
The assignments meaning?
Yeah, there is. If I just quickly tell you about it, review the content, review the development project. Okay, we have to make an initial post about our group's discussion forum and have at least two of our group members. You should seek at least 2 academic sources, articles, and videos that you have found during a research. So this we'll have academic resources, articles, and videos. Okay, cool. And you should have selected a design method that will take you forward. Okay, so I think after the next conversation, we would have had some data also, and if you read up the post also, we can together discuss what method we can choose. Method selection
Yeah.
won't be that big and hassle, because if we selected
I
what
think
we're
we
doing,
would already have done like gathering the data and information or the research part. We will already have it if we do the 5 aspects. So then the next is only to decide on which method. So that could be
should
maybe
be
after next.
yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
that's going to be easy after we get this part done.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the next assignment shouldn't be an issue then, because it's primarily
Yeah.
saying we need to give in our sources as to what we've read, what are the videos that we like, which direction are we going into, and what method we would solve it by. So I think both these questions we could answer by whenever we meet next.
Great.
Yeah.
So when do you guys, would you like to meet before class? Next week? Like on Monday or Tuesday? Or Monday, it was a little bit complicated for everyone, right?
Yeah, and I think Mara is not back. She's only back by Tuesday, right?
Yeah. Tuesday
Yeah.
evening she's back. When is our class, on Wednesday or Thursday?
The class is on Thursday.
Let's do it on Wednesday then.
Wednesday, I've got classes the whole day. Yeah, I started 11, but because I have to go from Berlin to Potsdam, I take the train around 9:30. So, and I come back home pretty late. I don't know if on Tuesday we could do it like very late afternoon, like around 7.
Okay, let's discuss with this
Okay,
with Maya on the group and whatever
Yeah.
best we can manage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
far, I
that would
think
be good.
Tuesday afternoon or evening is good for me.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Super.
All right, that's great. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you guys. Have a nice
Thank
weekend.
you.
Yeah, you
You
too.
too. Have a nice weekend. See you soon.
Ciao.
Catch up on the chats.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Arna.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Bart.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. See you.